Year-old man appeared in court in King's Lynn this morning, charged with 2 counts of attempted murder. It follows an incident on Wednesday when a couple were shot in the village of Nordelph in Norfolk. The injured man remains in a stable condition in hospital. His wife was discharged yesterday. Kevin Barrett from the High Street in Nordelph was remanded in custody and will appear at Norwich Crown Court on July the 7th.
Do stay with us this Friday. Last week, we heard that Suffolk police were planning on sharing accommodation with the council to save money.
Well, now residents in Tiptree and Essex have been told about a pilot scheme that will see the police and the fire service using the same building. If successful, it could be rolled out to other locations, as Victoria Webb now reports.
It's not the biggest of buildings, but this will soon be home to the police as well as the fire service in Tiptree. In a 3-month trial, bosses will see if putting the two together in the same building works, and if it does, the police station could close.
They shouldn't go in with the fire station, especially here, because as you see, it's on a roundabout and everything.
Anything's worth a trial. They're both organisations that are needed, and it's a question of if it works or doesn't work.
The fire station won't be open to the public, but staff from the library will be used to help with inquiries.
If people have got any concerns, they can go and see the library staff and they can ask to speak to a police officer. If they need to speak somewhere privately, we can facilitate that, or we can go and visit people.
Depending on the scheme's success, it could be rolled out to 13 other locations in Essex.
What we're looking at is saving money for the taxpayers of Tiptree in order to maintain the services we've got at the same standard.
After this week's budget, we're likely to see more of our service providers finding ways to cut their spending. Victoria Webb, Anglia News, Tiptree.
A triple murderer from Essex has won damages of nearly £50,000 from the Home Office because he had a toothache. Michael Steele was one of 2 men jailed for life in 1998 for the notorious Rettendon gangland murders 3 years earlier. Today, an appeal court judge ruled Steele's prison dental care had been negligent, leaving him with persistent pain following a childhood tooth injury. The judge did reduce his damages from £66,000 to £44,000.
Travellers facing eviction from a site in Essex have been meeting a police chief today. Those living on Dale Farm at Crays Hill near Billericay and campaigners travelled to Basildon Police Station earlier to meet with the Assistant Chief Constable of Essex, Derek Benson. Now, they would discuss the policing of a possible eviction and also safety precautions.
My most worry is it's not for myself over this eviction, it's over I have so many grandchildren. I understand I'm an old woman, I've done this all my life, but my grandchildren don't.
Hundreds have turned out in Thetford to see RAF's D Squadron parade through the town. The
troops from the Joint Chemical, Biological, Radiological and Nuclear Regiment are based at Honington in Suffolk and have just returned from 6 months in Afghanistan. Laura Burns watched the parade.
The flags are out in support of our country, but today thoughts of football are put aside, as these spectators cheer on a very special team of men. They're members of the RAF's D Squadron, who are deployed in Viking vehicles as armoured support to operations across Helmand. Their friends and families are delighted to have them back.
A bit tearful, but yeah, because we're proud of them.
They're heroes, aren't they? Unbelievable people.
Glad to see so many people turned out. It makes you feel very patriotic.
Today was an absolute tribute to them. That was a small place and everybody came together and it was absolutely brilliant.
Later came lots of photographs and lots of praise. Every squadron member who left for Afghanistan in December has made it safely back to the UK. A massive sense of relief for the troops and of course their families who've been cheering them on today with pride. Reuniting with their loved ones has been emotional.
It was overwhelming to be honest. I mean, it's not my first tour. I thought to be used to it, but no, it's still very overwhelming.
It's so nice to be home, and today the public have been absolutely incredible. It's so emotional coming down the street to the band.
The troops now have around a month off, a chance to readjust and relax, although it looks like some might get more rest than others. Laura Burns, Anglia News, Thetford.
Small businesses in the East have been making their feelings known after considering the full implications of this week's budget. Chloe Smith, the MP for Norwich North, attended a meeting this morning where members of the Federation of Small Businesses made her aware of their main concerns. Plans set out in the budget mean some new businesses across the UK will get relief on national insurance contributions, but the East of England is exempt.
Will this slow it down? Yes, possibly. We heard a case today where a company in Wales can supply windows cheaper than companies in Norwich because of the subsidies they enjoy. That's not entirely fair, and I'd like to see changes there.
Now, it's a landmark occasion for the Norfolk Formula One team Lotus Racing this weekend, competing in their 500th.
Now, it's thought that men spend a year of their lives pottering around their shed. Can
Not
that
this
be
one.
right? One man from Essex has spent rather longer in his. This is Reg Miller's shed in Southend. He got his inspiration from the film Pirates of the Caribbean, and now he's won through to the final of the Shed of the Year competition. I wonder if his other half likes it as much as he does. Well, next tonight, the mother from Essex who was charged more than £430 by a clamping company after doing what she says was a U-turn in a car park.
Yes, Jessie Martin from Leigh near Southend says clamping regulations should be urgently looked at, but the clamping companies say they're simply protecting private property, and they were out in full force again today, as Lorna Ramsey now reports.
It was supposed to be a quick trip to the shops, but it ended up leaving Jessie Martin from Leigh £434 out of pocket when she had a run-in with the clampers. And she had another run-in while we were filming today.
Two, reverse back, here he comes, is the man who's done it. It's the man. So this is all what I've done. I am. This is all what I've done. Turning around like £434 for turning around in the road because I couldn't do you. Couldn't turn right.
Do you think it's right to clamp someone if they're making a U-turn?
Well, if they're on land, right, they shouldn't be parking on here. Most of the time, they're all parked on here. So it's up to them. If they want to park on here, the signs are big enough, they can read it. So they're permitting themselves to it, aren't they?
This lady wasn't parking, she was turning around.
No, she wasn't. She was parking.
The council and police say they've had several complaints about LBS enforcement. In a statement, the manager Robert Jones told us, "We stand up for the landowner by stopping people parking on private property. This upsets the people we catch and we get complaints. But we wouldn't be in business if people didn't park where they shouldn't." But Jessie insists she didn't park here. She says she was trying to avoid this junction by doing a U-turn in the car park. She called the police, but still had to pay the bill. Essex police confirm they came here when Jessie was stopped. They say they've attended several other similar incidents involving LBS and other clamping companies across the county. They've called on the guidance to be made clearer on this issue to stop problems like this happening in the future. And it seems the government is bowing to pressure.
Of course, in the Queen's speech this year, part of the new government, car clamping has been mentioned as well, and pressure from Leigh, Trading Standards Institute and the police as well. Hopefully this will be looked at by the new government.
But it's too late for Jessie. She knows she's not going to get her money back. All she can do is make sure she doesn't turn around here again and turns left at this junction instead. Lorna Ramsey, Anglia News, Leigh-on-Sea. Lorna Ramsey.